Okay, so 3, 2, 1. So what did I do? I didn't have nothing for breakfast this morning. I came here and I got here on time. Actually got here on time. But yeah, I'm in Lewisham. It's not like Hackney, is it? Not like Hackney. My name is Juliet COLEY. Actually, it's Juliet Bremer, but everybody knows me as Juliet COLEY. I'm from East London, and I'm just a few weeks shy of the big 6-0. Why I say that is because I didn't really expect to be here for my 60th, to celebrate my 60th, because of my journey, but I am well excited, I'm pleased, I'm thankful that, I can say that I am close to 60 years old. My journey, I was born, I usually say, under the sound of the 23rd Psalms, which means that I was born in a Christian household. My grandmother was a Pentecostal minister. My grandparents were Windrush. My mum was also Windrush. And church has always been a part of my life. I remember being a Christian at the age of 15 and kind of feeling envious when we used to have a thing called testimony service. So that's where people would talk about their experiences, talk about what's happened to them, talk about how God has delivered them from all these kinds of things. And I remember when it came to me as a 15-year-old having to get up and testify, I didn't really have anything to say. And I'd kind of feel jealous of those that would talk about, being, struck by illness and God delivered them, having a bad experience and God delivered them. Because all I could say was, I thank God for waking me up this morning. Please pray for me in Jesus' name. And kind of felt like, I haven't got nothing to say. I haven't got nothing to kind of talk about. Little did I know that I was blessed by not having nothing to talk about. I started my career off in media. I used to work for the Voice newspaper. I then went into television. I did a stint on a program called People Get Ready with the Bishop John Francis. We both presented that program. And I kind of felt like, even though it was an honor and a privilege, being told what to do is not really what I'm good at. And I kind of felt like being behind the cameras was where all the power was and where I would enjoy it most. So I kind of turned my back on that. And after a whole spate of news about black boys underachieving, I realized that, do you know what? Where I need to be is in the classroom, helping them to achieve. And that was where I kind of moved and straddled post-media into education and found my calling. My grandparents used to sing this song, or at church we used to have this song that used to be sung called, "If I can help somebody as I walk along, then my living shall not be in vain." And being a teacher was kind of testament to that song, because every day I felt like I was living a life of purpose, helping the children, just in everyday things, with their families, along with raising achievement to give them choices at the end of the day that they could go on and do great things in society. And I loved my job. I started off at a school where I was a beginner teacher, which meant that I did my placement there as part of my university course. And I really liked it. I really felt at home. And they seemed to like me, and they hired me. And I spent the next 20 years in that school, starting off as a beginner teacher, moving up to a deputy head of year, then a head of year, then an assistant head, then a deputy head, then a senior deputy head. And I was just a stone's throw away from having my own school. And I ended up having to retire due to ill health. Going backwards a bit, during my journey in school, I was always, working. I've got 3 children, and I've got a great family support network. So it was not a problem for me to leave my children with my husband or my mum or my family and go to school and work in school. And the cycle for about 10 years was that I would get up at 5 in the morning, I would go off to school, I'm in school before 7 o'clock, I stay at school till 8 o'clock, I come home, look after the family, after they've gone to bed, do all the leadership strategy stuff, and then I'm at bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing that I've got to wake up again at 5. And that went on, for at least 10 years. And something had to give. And what gave in 2013 was my heart. So basically, I had a heart attack. I actually didn't know I was having a heart attack because it wasn't that typical dropping on the floor and fainting and saying, help, help, I can't breathe. I actually started to feel breathless. I started when I was walking, it felt like I was climbing a mountain. I knew something wasn't right, but I was too busy to go to the hospital. And I remember my mum saying that she's not going to talk to me if I don't get up and sort myself out. And I remember going to the hospital and seeing a whole lot of people in A&E, and I thought, nah, I'm not staying. And my aunt said, Julie, if you don't stay and at least go through triage, your mum's not going to speak to you. And I thought, okay, cool. I told the receptionist my symptoms and I got bumped up the queue. And I thought, wow, how fantastic. When I got in and they did an ECG, the doctor came back and told me that I'd actually had a heart attack. And I thought he was joking, because even though I can actually remember the point where I had that heart attack, i.e. I was driving on the motorway, I was sweating, I was feeling breathless, feeling like I was having actually a stroke, and trying to think about that advert you see on TV, ABC, ABC, what does A stand for, what does B stand for? If you remember that advert. And not realizing that actually it wasn't a stroke that I was experiencing, it was a heart attack. But I had associated heart attacks with middle-aged white men, not young black girls, and brushed that aside. Anyway, cut a long story short, I was blue lighted, as they call it. I was taken to resus and blue lighted to Bart's Hospital, taken in to have an emergency procedure. And I remember after having what they call an angiogram, all these doctors gathering around and having this conversation. And for the first time realizing something is seriously wrong. Oh my goodness. And I remember the first thing I said to the doctor was, am I going to die? And the doctor said back, not if I can help it, but it's pretty serious. You're going to have quadruple bypass surgery. And for me, I'm a glass half full girl, but it was shock. When I broke the news and told people, family, friends, they thought I was joking because I didn't seem like I'd had a heart attack. It didn't seem like I'm the kind of person that needed heart surgery. But for the first time, I actually thought about death. I actually thought about, not being around, leaving my kids behind, leaving my family behind, and realizing that, one, I hadn't looked after myself very well, and two, what am I leaving behind? What's my legacy? When you're a teacher, you always have a legacy because you're always helping people. You're always doing something, making that mark. They have that saying, no one forgets a good teacher. But what was I leaving behind for my children? Because even though I was a great teacher, I think I probably was a better teacher than I was a mother. And it kind of woke me up. Sickness kind of made me think about my life and what I was leaving behind. And interestingly, I am a publisher. I publish Black books written by Black children. And I've done 30 books with Black children. And that came out of me having a heart attack. So my youngest was 5 at the time. And when he heard that I was going to have this big major operation, and he was only 5, he said he didn't want to come home. He said, I'm not coming home, Mummy, I'm going to live with Nanny because you're going to die. And for the first time, well, probably the second time, I kind of realized, what have I done? why haven't I looked after myself? Why haven't I been a better mum? Not that I was a bad mum, but I wasn't as good as I could have been. I was a mother to everybody and not enough to my kids. And that made me think. I spoke to my GP. My GP said to me that she wants to recommend me for play therapy. And I'm not really a therapy kind of girl, but anything to help my son. He went to play therapy, and after 6 weeks, my daughter said to me, Mum, have you seen what Romeo's written? Because he was supposed to write down his thoughts and feelings. And she brought the papers to me, I looked at it, and she said, Mum, why don't we put it in a book? And I thought to myself, do you know what? Anything that's going to make him better, anything that's going to make him heal. And as a result of that, I did some research, I spoke to some people at my school, and made a book. And in the first 2 weeks of having that book out, we sold all the 200 copies. And I saw a difference in my son. I saw his confidence rise. I saw his self-esteem grow. And we didn't publish the book till he was about 6, 7, but it was a different guy. It was a different boy. And people were calling him an author. And that was the birth, or that was the beginning of my publishing company. So not only have I seen my son, grow from strength to strength, because the year after he had his book out, he won an award. And there was no stopping him. I've actually worked with other children and seen the same thing happen to them. So out of something that was potentially, a disaster, goodness came out of it. I realized that, even though it was devastating going through what I went through, one of the things I actually thought was, I'd rather at least have heart problems and have cancer. Because in my family, my grandmother, who was somebody that grew me, who was somebody that was an amazing woman, and nothing could stop her, she was the one that died from cancer. So I thought to myself, do you know what? I got the long straw, not the short straw, by having heart problems. At least I didn't have cancer. My grandmother had died of cancer. It was devastating because she was the matriarch in the family. She was someone we all looked up to. She was the strong one. And she actually was diagnosed with breast cancer, had to have